G'day friends, it's Kim here with Kim's Homestead, back in the kitchen again, and today I've got a couple of things for you, but first I need to make some bread. I'm also going to be making the ham and onion or bacon and onion pillows or pasties, whatever you like to call it, wherever you are in the world. Some people call them ham pies, some people call them pillows. I just call them pasties. Anyway, first of all, we'll make some bread. Now, first of all, I need a scale. This is about the only recipe that I actually use a scale. So we'll put that on there, and we'll get our trusty cups and spoons. So for this we will need 1 1/4 teaspoons of dry yeast. This is a very versatile recipe. I actually make quite a lot of different things out of it. We will also need a teaspoon of, or a teaspoon for this one, of bread improver, I think you call it. Two tablespoons of dry milk. This is full cream milk powder. So into there it goes. And we want, I usually like a reasonably sweet loaf, so 2 tablespoons of raw sugar, now I never put my salt on top of this, always put your salt in last. Now I'll turn the scales on. We want 15 to 20 grams of butter, just a big gulp. It's a little over, but that's fine. Now set it back to 0. That was that was about 23 grams, so a bit over, but I'm not fussed. Now we want about 420 grams of bread flour. $4.36. That'll do. Now we put in our salt. So we want, I don't like it too salty. It's supposed to be about a teaspoon, but I usually go about 3/4 of a teaspoon. So it's a half and a half of the half. Give it a little mix. Mix in that salt. The reason you do that is because the salt will actually deactivate your yeast. Now we want about 315 ounces of water. I usually like to use warm water. Right, a cup is 250 ml. I meant to say mils, not ounces. And there we go, around about there. There we go. Right. Now this will be going in the bread maker to stir. Yeah, I don't cook it in the bread maker, I just mix it in the bread maker. Right, while that's doing its thing, let's get on with making the bacon and egg pasties. Got to pull the sleeves up for this one. So I've been out into the garden and I've picked some beautiful onions. So now they just need a bit of a clean up and a bit of a chop. Right, so I'll bring you back when these are all chopped up and ready to go in the pan. Now, we will also need some duck fat, some bacon mince, and of course, eggs. And these are nice fresh eggs from my girls. Probably use about a dozen eggs. Now, of course, if you have any leftover vegetables, you can also use those. It's a good way of using up leftover veggies and making them into something else delicious. So let's get this in the pan and get it cooking. Okay, so we're going to put in just a little bit of the duck fat, not much. If you don't have duck fat, you can use butter or any other fat that you like. I just happen to have duck fat. Grease the bottom. And break your bacon into it. A little hot. Now that's quite a lot of bacon, and to be honest I probably won't use it all, but I was cooking it anyway, so I thought I'll cook it all up and I'll put a little bit away in the freezer, and that way it'll be ready to use when I want to pull it out and use it on something else. In the meantime, I have cracked all of the eggs, probably a little over a dozen, into this jug, and I'm just going to give them a light whisk. Make sure that the yolks are all broken up. I'll put a little bit of salt and pepper in there as well. Just a little bit of pepper, not a lot. Now what I also have is some leftover minced garlic. I was wondering what I was going to use this for. Now I know. Give it that hint of garlic to go through it. That'll be nice. We cook the bacon until it's just slightly brown, We don't want to cook it too much, but we want that nice bacony flavour through it. Oh, I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. It smells beautiful. You don't have to use minced bacon for this. You can use chopped bacon. You can use ham, you can use steak, sausage, pretty much any meats that you want. You can even use chicken if you want, but I just like it with the bacon. It's a very versatile recipe. You can pretty well stick in it whatever you want. Starting to get that nice brown crispness now. That will be for something else. Now we have our onion. And we'll let this wilt down just a bit. And release those flavours. This would be a good time to add any veggie scraps such as mashed potatoes, mashed pumpkin, peas, beans, anything like that. Just add it in and let it blend with all of this and get the flavours through it. Honestly, your family won't even know they're eating leftovers. Now it's time to pour in your egg. And you just scramble it as you would scrambled eggs. At this point, you could actually stop because it's not quite cooked. You could spoon it into those plastic cupcake molds and put it in your oven and let it finish cooking the rest of the way, and you would have little sort of mini quiches, egg and bacon quiches, which you can pop into the freezer and use for quick breakfasts or quick lunches or just as snacks even. I often do that. Then you could also put them in burritos, roll them up and cook them in burritos, which if I don't have enough pastry I might even do that. So there's a couple of suggestions for you. Okay, that's finished. So what I'll do now is I'll put that to one side, let it cool down before we start stuffing pastry shells. Well, our bread has risen nicely in the bread maker. So now it's time to take it out and do something with it. So we'll give it a light dusting of flour so we can work with it. As you can see, it's pretty tacky at the moment. Pop out a few of those air pockets. Now a full loaf like this is way too much for me, so I'm going to cut it in half and make 2 loaves. Pop this one aside for a minute. Now this one here will be our white bread for the week. Lots of air bubbles in there, get rid of them. So I've got a nice little bread pan here. Pop a little bit of flour in the bottom. And we'll put our bread in. Nestle him up into bed. Right, now that one will be ready to rise. Now this one here, I've decided to make a herb and garlic bread out of. So, I'll flatten him out. What we have here is some garlic powder. So we need probably about a teaspoonful there. And we'll just sprinkle that over the top. Get rid of some of that dough. Now, the leftover bacon. We're going to sprinkle over the top. Save a little bit back. And some onion. Sprinkle a little bit over that. Right, now for some basil. This is from last year's basil. Right, now all we need to do is fold it into the bread. And just lightly knead it in. Now you shouldn't have to add any more water because there's a lot of moisture in the onions and the bacon. So it's actually got quite a lot of moisture, and that's why I'm putting so much flour over it. Just incorporate whatever's there. As you saw, the dough was quite tacky. Right, I'll just roll it up now. Squish down the ends. And here I have one of those silicone moulds, and I just pop it in there like that. Push it into shape. Now, the little bit of bacon that you've got left is probably still a bit much here. I'm just going to sprinkle over the top to add a little bit more of that lovely bacon flavour. And there we go. That will be plenty. Now that will be nice herb garlic bread when it's done to go with my meals this week. Now, what I will do is put these in the oven. It is a slightly warm or lukewarm oven, and I'll put a tea towel over the top so it doesn't dry out, and let it rest for about an hour to let it double in size. Now for the egg pasties. What I have here is just the Pampers butter puff pastry. Now, the pre-made pastry I find is fairly reasonable. I just can't be bothered making my own at the moment. So you do you. If you want to make your puff pastry, you do that. But it's getting late and this needs to be used. There we go. What I'm going to do is cut this into 4. So we have our cooled egg mixture here, and I'm going to put probably a good tablespoon in the centre of each one. It usually sets up fairly well once it's turned cold. That bit was a bit big. I'm just going to put an egg wash around the outside to seal the pastry. Whoop. The only thing with this stuff, it can get a bit tacky. I don't make them very often, but when I do, they are delicious. Believe it or not, I've just taken this out of the freezer. It was thawed out and then I put it back in the freezer again to chill a while so it wouldn't go like this, but it has. There we go. Not the prettiest thing, but as I said, they are delicious when they're done. Now what I will do, I don't think you really want to watch that painful thing all over again. So I'll get the rest done and come back to you when they're done. Well, every time I use that stuff, I swear black and blue, I'm not going to buy it ever again. But I do. Oh well, anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to egg wash the top. Now, 3 of these I'm going to do with sesame seeds. Another good topping would be either a little bit of garlic powder or some minced herbs. Maybe some basil, that'd be nice. Depending on what you've got inside it. And the other one, the other 3, I beg your pardon, I'm going to do in poppy seeds. There we go. Now they will go into the oven probably a 205 degree fan forced oven until golden brown. So what am I going to do with the rest of this mix? Well, I think I've decided on making some breakfast or lunchtime burritos. So I will just chop this mix up a little bit so it's not quite as firm. So, once that's wrapped up in plastic, I think that'll be fine. Not someone that's ever really had breakfast burritos before, but why not? you go, cut him up nice and long. That's the way. Right. Good way to reuse some tin foil. It's two. There we go. 4 nice little breakfast burrito parcels. Ready to go. So here we go. We have finally finished and we've ended up with 4 breakfast burritos or breakfast lunch burritos. We have 6 egg and bacon pasties. Now they've turned out quite well. So we'll probably have them for tea tomorrow night actually. Our bread, well, I had to go at putting that egg wash on top of the bread and some poppy seeds, but it made the bread flop a little bit and it browned the top a little too much. But the bread itself inside is quite fine. Now I'm actually more interested in the herb bread this evening, the egg and onion, not egg, the bacon and onion herb bread. So let's have a little look, see how it turned out. Now I shouldn't be cutting this yet because it's a little hot, but it's alright. Yep, that's actually quite nice. That is actually really nice. Not something that I'd make sort of every day, but when I'm feeling like a little bit of extra, like herb and garlic bread, especially when you have spaghetti, or something like that, that would be very nice. So there we go folks, that is our egg and bacon parcels, our bacon and onion herb bread, our normal bread, which unfortunately didn't do that well, and as a bit of a bonus we have the breakfast burritos. So that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope I've given you a couple of ideas for lunches, dinners, teas, breakfasts, and yeah, I hope you liked this video, so give me a thumbs up, and if you like the content please think about subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. Well, that's all for now, so cheers guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Well, there we go for the egg and bacon pasties, pockets, whatever you like to call them. The egg and bacon burritos, and for the bacon and onion herb bread. Bit of a tongue twister, that one. Anyway, They're usually a favourite around here. My kids love them. My grandchildren love them, except one, he doesn't like eggs. But anyway, so, and I quite like them too, mainly because, well, they're very tasty, but also ease and convenience. Also, they're great for when I've got like real excess of eggs. It's a great way to preserve your eggs when you've got a glut. And they're just all round good, really. And you can make them so many different ways and so many different things. I'm sorry the beginning of the film here was a little bit blurry. Unfortunately, I think I got something on my lens and I didn't know about it until now. But anyway, maybe I'll do this video again one day, but not today. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please think about giving me a thumbs up and think about subscribing if you want to see more of this sort of content. So I will see you very shortly with either in the kitchen, in the garden, or maybe some cleaning tips. Anyway, I'll see you soon, guys. Bye for now.